welcome to the drowned lands of NOLA Wargaming. It's me, Big Fat again, and I've got another battle report for you. So this time my opponent, AOG, you know me, out here in New Orleans. Friend of mine, we haven't seen each other for a little while, so called him up, said, hey, why don't you bring your Sonnstahl out? And yeah, we decided to give it a go. So he hasn't played in a little while, so the army list he brought was actually from a few. Wow, it's from a little bit. It was from a little bit back. I can't even tell you from how far back, but it still had the old stat lines on it. You know, there was still toughness and ballistic skills and all that. So things were a little different than you know would be normally. I tried to update things as we'd go, but I didn't know everything that was in the Sonnstahl army because I haven't gone through and memorized everything in the list yet. But whenever we used the modern rules, every time something that was new, every time something came up that I knew was new, we added in there. But there were a couple of differences, like his heavy infantry or his Imperial Guard were strength 5 instead of strength 6. Stuff like that, and we were misusing the volley gun a little bit early on as well. But for the most part, you know, things weren't too bad. But yeah, so this is what the left side of his army looks like. He's got his general in that little unit of knights with the Knights Griffin behind him. I mean, it's pretty far off. I mean, the rest of his army is pretty much without the leadership of any, you know, characters. So these guys are going to try to flank around. And you can see the hill in the middle where he's got most of his shooting. He's got the little militia guarding the volley gun. And in the middle of the table, he's got they're the Imperial Guard, the Strength 5 Imperial Guard, and the 2 units of infantry. I wanted to know if either one of them were going to be support units for the parents, and he said no. I talked to him about it, particularly after the game, because I really like some of the rules on the support units being able to add their combat, not their combat res, their rank bonuses to a max of +6, which is pretty awesome. But he did not have that in this game. There actually is a character in the Imperial Guard. It's an Inquisitor. Yeah, I just don't have them labeled on here. And on the right side, it's just this big block electoral cav. And they're just going to try to hold the flank and keep stuff off the Imperial Guard. So here, yeah, I've got that Varkalak right across the street from that big unit of electoral cav. I'm gonna try to flank around the building and just kind of run back and forth because Varkalak's pretty quick, and make him constantly adjust to me. And over here, this is what I'm gonna kind of crash the center with the Ghasts and Vash and Ghouls and the Dark Coach. It's a pretty strong center right there. And then, you know, I've got plenty of chaff over here with the giant bats and the bat swarms. And then I've got the Greyback over here just doing what he does, which is usually let me down. And this horrible picture, which hopefully I fixed on my camera now. I've got the Wraiths on the right side. Even though they're not going to be able to stick around and march move with the Black Coach, I'm hoping that they can take out the Knights. By the way, I don't know why I haven't been playing them this way, but I have not been playing them as if they were AP 10. Why? Since that's like their defining characteristic, I have no idea. But I've not been doing that, and I did not do that in this game. It was after this game that inspired me to actually read the rules a bit more thoroughly. All right, over here, his Wizard Mistake had Fireball and Pyroclastic Flow. You'll see the meaning behind that name very, very shortly. And here for me, I've just been kind of, you know, adjusting what Vash has after the last game. I gave him a Rise and Savage Fury. I should have put Awakening instead, but I went with Savage Fury instead, so whatever. And there's Awakening the Beast on the Greyback, and he's just going to do stuff. All right, it's turn 1. So turn 1 never goes to me. So in true fashion, it didn't go to me this time. He's moving up just a little bit, but for the most part, he's going to see what I do. Moved up the Knights a little bit, adjusted the militia. Over here, he moved up a little bit too. He didn't do very much. And there's some Knights just, you know, doing knightly things. So magic. And he cast one of his spells. It might have been Pyroclastic. It could have been Fireball. I don't know what it was, but it only killed one Wraith. Yep, that one unlucky blank square on the left. And as a result, Mistake blew himself up. He threw 5 dice at it. I don't think he 666 did. He rolled one of the other ones, but he did a bunch of damage to himself, and then he died. And that was the end of his magic. I actually warned him about it. I was like, don't do it, don't do it. And he was like, I'm going to do it anyway. And this is what happened. All right, so that was his turn. It's my turn. I move up. I've got the Wraiths, who I'm hoping will just be able to hold up against the Knights. Not a ton of attacks. I'm hoping they can just stand. The 1 wound apiece on those guys is really killing me because they just take so much damage so fast. Over here, you can see I've moved these bats up. I'm trying to get to that stupid volley gun in the center. I know these guys they're hard targets. They're hard to hit. So if he wants to shoot at them with volley gun, I am totally fine with that. He's just going to waste a lot of shots doing it. And over here, you can see me doing what I said I was going to do, just moving up and preparing to crash the center. I want to go against the guard in the center. I feel like I can take him out with what I've got right here. And there's Varkalak, and you can see he's swung around the tower, and if you see it right above his very finely painted arm, you can see the Knight. So right now he's sitting in their flank, and if he does nothing, he's going to be able to swing around and hit the Imperial Guard. If he turns to face him, then it means, I'm just going to swing back around, and we're going to play a game of peekaboo. And yeah, that's how this is going to go. Oh man, those ribs actually came out really nice on this guy. Anyway, here is the magic phase. All right, so I just threw out a toughness on the bats. I don't think that mattered too much, but I did. Turn 2, Drowned Lands. All right, here we go. You knew the Knights were going to go into the Wraiths. They're going to go into the Wraiths. Unfortunately, he's going to have a +2 combat res advantage on me right off the bat, because he's going to have the banner and the charge. I don't think he's got any magic weapons, but he's got a fair number of attacks. He gets in, no problem. Over here, he scoots the militia together to keep me from charging the volley gun, which is really clever. I had to hand it to him. It was really clever since I kind of scooted the bats out of my range. I can't hop the gap. Even with that, 18-inch, if I could march them, I could hop over to the other side. But with only 9 inches, I cannot. Over here, he's moved up a bit more aggressively, and as you can see, he's turned the Knights to face the Varkalak on the flank to make sure the Varkalak doesn't spin around and hit that unit of 30 great swords, not great swords, Imperial Guard. Over here, yeah, they made short work of those poor Wraiths. I don't remember him doing a lot of damage, but he did enough. And, they just popped, and that was the end of them, which is unfortunate. And then he gets out of my line of sight, which sucks, because I was hoping the Varkalak was going to be able to countercharge right afterwards, but that was not the case. Over here, yep, I'm going to just crash those Imperial Guard. I know they're stubborn with character. I just have to kill the character. He's not too tough. I am kind of worried about the D3, the multi-wound that he's got on him. He's kind of a neat character, but he's kind of a compromised character at the same time. So he's not very heavily armored, so I feel like I can just hit him, kill him, and break this unit. And that's what get in. The gas don't make it because, whatever, they're gassed. But as long as the coach and the super ghouls get in with Vash, we should be good. Over here, I kick the Varkalak around and just say, okay, I'm not going to let you get around me. You can do whatever turning shenanigans you want. You're going to be in line of sight of the Varkalak. And, the Varkalak is a much... It's a much tougher, target than those Wraiths. Over here, you can see I've tried to support the ghouls to make sure that I'm not going to get flank charged by this unit of infantry. you could see the other swordsman on the other flank, but I don't think he can wheel to get the flank there. But I'm not overly worried about that one. Here you can see on the right side, Varkalak's just spinning around and says, hey, now I'm in your flank again. What are you going to do about it? And here we are, some magic. And zombies. I mean, yeah, everyone knew it was going to happen. I was going to throw up some zombies, get in the way of that unit, just make sure to protect the flank of the super ghouls. And yeah, they'll probably die in combat or something. Who cares? As long as they fulfill the goal. And over here, you can see I just churned through a rank of these guys. The coach took a wound, and I lost a few ghouls. And it looks like a fair number, 7 ghouls. But, you know, I'm already eating into his attacks. So every time I do a wound, he's losing attacks. I did not kill the Inquisitor. He's got 1 wound on him. All right, turn 3. So yeah, that was happening. He's going to charge those ghouls, the zombies, try to wipe them out, and then just say, hey, I've got room to go. Yep, bats, got to clear out the chaff, you know. Over here, he's going to defend that wall for Varkalak, and you can see the knights of the, what, Young Griffin's son, something. You know, the Chocobos. Chocobos swinging around doing the Chocobo thing. Here's the center of the table. You can see, you know, not a whole lot going on. You can see my bats off to the left, by the way, after I, you know, chaffed up the middle. But he's continuously shooting at the bats, and he's not doing anything. We're not doing the 3d6 times 2 on the volley gun. We're only doing 3d6, which is kind of throwing it off a little bit. But still, he's shooting at these -2 bats, these hard target bats. So he's not doing very much. It's just they're tough to shoot at. Over here, you can see, yep, spin around those knights to keep the Varkalak in the front. So Varky can either hit the guard next turn or hit the knights. He can do one or the other. But he can't get around the flank or anything. Here, shooting, he did a wound to the bat. Not the best, not the most fulfilling use of the volley gun. He's really not rolling very well either. Over here, that's from the militia. Knock off the other wound on him. So I'm down to 1 bat. Oh no! Over here, yep, those bats. They were not long for this world. He came in, just murdered them. That was it. He reformed so that he can hit the zombies in the flank. Oh, and actually, that might have been the end of the combat of the zombies too. Oh, that's right. I think I drew combat, or I won something weird where I did a bunch of wounds and he didn't do very much to me, and I didn't lose by very much. The zombies actually lived. But here you can see the Imperial Guard just took a beating this round of combat. Super Ghouls did what Super Ghouls do. I think it's because I got rerolls on them with the Unholy Appetite, and they just ate this unit. I killed the character as well. I believe it was, I think he got into a challenge with Vash. I should have been more worried about this, like I said, with the multi-wound, but I wasn't, and Vash just ripped them apart. And they broke, but nobody caught them. They're just hanging around over there. I'm just going to charge them off the table with the Black Coach next turn. So you can see the Black Coach has decided it wanted to regain that wound it lost previously, and so it has. Over here, yep, I'm going to double charge into that unit of knights, and yeah, between the Ghast's massed strength 4 poison attacks and the Varkalak's hatred strength 6, I think we're going to make short work of these knights. And yeah, both of them make it in, no problem. Over here, yep, I'm going to go rescue my zombies. The ghouls are going to save those worthless zombies. Yep, clearly made it. You can see on the left, I sent the gray back into the halberdiers as well, and they made it. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm going to win this combat. They're lightly armored. I'm going to strike first. It's going to eat into his attacks. I mean, these units of 30, he probably needs to have his maybe units of 40. That way I'm not eating into attacks immediately. At least he'll get through a couple of rounds before I do that. Over here, Varklak's going to charge into the wall and do, wall stuff. Oh, they made it. Oh, who would have thought? All right. So, like I said, I was going to drive those guys off the table, and I drove them right off the table. And the black coach is just going to hang around. Movement, this is what the table looks like at this point. I've moved the bats, the one bat over there to try to get to that stupid volley gun. My bat swarms are no idea what they're doing, so they're just kind of fluttering around in circles, much like, normal swarms of bats. Here's the right side. Everything's pretty engaged in combat right now. All right. Big magic, big magic. All right, so ghouls got more ghouls. And, yeah, that was magic. That was it. I never get more than like one spell off. You see, I don't have that many spells. I need to, next time I build another list, I need to probably swap out the Greyback for a Necromancer or something like that, just so I have access to more spells. Because right now, I can only really use about 2 spells a turn, and something is always being wasted. All right, over here, I killed one knight. He didn't do anything back to me. But he ran. That doesn't matter. He ran. And I ran him down. Now, he didn't roll very high. I didn't roll very high, but it is enough. Over here, yeah. Yeah, those knights. I just ripped them apart. The Varklak just shredded those guys. It was bad. I don't think the gas did all that much. The Varklak did all the heavy lifting, and then he ran him down. Over here, more of the same. The super ghouls just murdered this poor infantry, and I didn't kill them. They ran, and this is what everything ended up looking like. The zombies actually caught them. The ghouls did not go very far. I think they rolled like a 2 or something. Yeah, over here, normal ghouls with Greyback they just ate a rank of these guys, and they immediately started running. I did not expect that. I thought we were going to go through a little bit of, little give and take for a couple of rounds, and I thought this unit was going to get bled a lot more. But they just went straight through them. I guess they're trying to show me up for that last game where they did nothing. Over here. Yep. Varklak, he is not long for this world. Chocobos is going to get in that flank, and they're just going to tear him up. Yep. Yeah, he's going to die quick, fast, and in a hurry. All right. Yeah. I threw the bat out there hoping he wasn't going to charge and maybe just shoot him again for no reason. But, why not? Actually, he was going to shoot him again, but I was like, AOG, look, man, you got to charge. You are so much better off just charging these bats than just shooting the bats for no reason. And he agreed after I threw some numbers out, and he agreed and did it. And, yeah, that's going to be the end of my bat. Sorry, bat. This is my fault, buddy. Over here, he rallied that unit, so it's turn to face the super ghoul. Oh, not the super ghouls, the normal ghouls. And this is what our table is looking like. I mean, it's not looking too good. I've completely routed the center and the right flank, and he's really just around the hill right now. I mean, outside of the crazy Chocobos down there, which can do whatever they want as long as it's not actively annoying the rest of my army. And here's the right side. Yep. Volley gun plus militia equal smaller unit of ghouls. This is where we realized we've been screwing up the volley gun rules, and we decided to not screw up the volley gun rules. And yeah, that's what happens to your ghoul unit when you don't screw up the volley gun rules. The 3d6 times 2 is pretty rough. I don't think he rolled any 6s here, so it wasn't -1 or anything like that. Yeah, bat died because bats die. And he just reformed and faced the ghouls. Varklak got punked. He got punked hard. And they just turned around to head back up. I guess I killed one of the knights. Yeah, because he's got one last, but I don't remember doing that much damage, but we might have picked it up just by accident. Anyway, over here, this was against my better judgment. I was like, yeah, I don't know if they can keep surviving, this constant war of attrition. I only have a handful of ghouls and Greyback, and whatever. Let's just do it. Instead of running the Greyback somewhere else, let's just fight to the end up here. So I decided to fight to the end. I charged right into those militia, and we're going to tear them up, and we're going to try to overrun into the halberdiers behind them. This is what the table looks like. You can see everything starting to crash around the hill right there. There's the rest of my army moving around. So I got some ghouls back, and I ended up getting. I think I put +1 toughness on them because I was worried about not getting them back. I think I did toughness first, so it's really tough to wound them right now. But yeah, a lot more. This gives me some breathing room. You know, now I feel like I can take out the militia and then hit the halberdiers after that, and I do. I think I killed like all the halberdiers. Actually, it looks like they got away and they're all the way at the table edge. There's no way. I only killed 4. There's no way. That must be AOG picking them up. Here's Audubon Zoo. Man, that place is great. Anyway, so there's the militia deciding to charge into the flank of that unit of ghouls, which they make. It's a bit more worrisome, but yeah, I mean, so far his army hasn't done anything to me. Whatever. Go ahead, bring it, bring it. And there's a lot of death here, but I don't lose combat is the takeaway here. I do a lot of wounds, and I just, you know, he gave up after that because I won the combat and he broke. And he was like, nope, nope, we're done here. No more to do. He didn't want to have to send the griffins swirling around to get over there. So that was it. We just called it. No big deal. And yeah, we had a great time. We talked about, you know, army lists and stuff, and I made sure to tell him that, you know, take a look at the latest version of Army Builder. If not, you know, I can build some lists for him. I have a pretty sizable Sonnstahl army back at the house, so if he ever needed anything extra, and we talked about some parent support units. But I mean, right here, everything went right for me. A lot of good dice rolls for me, particularly when I was killing things like the Imperial Guard, and even at the end where you saw those ghouls just shred those 2 units. I just got really lucky with some of my dice rolls. And I might have taken the invincibility of Vash's ghoul unit a little too far from the lessons in this game, because I felt like they went in and they fought those Imperial Guard and they just ripped them to pieces. And that might not be entirely accurate. But you'll have to stay tuned for the next game, which I've already played, to see how that goes for me. So I'll see you guys next time. But got one last thing for you. Yes, the Monday Morning Broken Coffee Machine Award. Everything went really well for me today. So this actually was pretty tough to figure out. But it had to go to the Wraiths. They didn't do anything for me in this game. They just got run over, and I keep using them so badly that they just keep getting speed bumped around. And yeah, I'm going to have to do this better next time. Maybe boost up the unit a little bit. Maybe remember that they're AP 10 when I throw them in the way of knights, because that's who they should be killing. But in the future, going to do better. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Take it easy, and I will see you all next time. Later.